talking one-on-one, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Or the steak by the plates, and in case after case, run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snake.
Welcome back to Bucko Banter, episode 290. You got Scott, Adam, we got producer Juicy J down in the green room, and we are pumped up because Just Baseball's top 100 list from Arm Layden is out, and you have 5 Buccos on this list, Scott. Some names that you've already seen that have been hyped up, some names you might not be familiar with. We're going to go through all of them today, talk about projections, where we see them in the next year or so. We're also going to talk about some names that were left off the list, maybe some names that you might be surprised that you didn't see that had some really good years in 2025, and maybe some names that haven't really had much time at the professional level that might sneak on there next year. Scott, I know you love this. You live for this kind of stuff. How you feeling about the top 100?
Big prospect guy, man. Big college baseball, big prospect guy. But I will say this, Just Baseball's list has become my sanctuary. There's so many different prospect lists, MLB Pipeline, Fangraphs, all the lists. And I'm not just saying this because to sound biased, but I feel like Arm puts out one of the best lists out there, if not the best.
Pound for pound, man.
Pound for pound.
And you go through it and the detail, you get the swing analysis, the projection. He talks about everything. There's no stone left unturned, and he takes his time. And this is not just his opinion, right? This is formulated over the course of a year of talking to scouts, managers, players, their own personal interviews, people, all the minds at Just Baseball, and they really break it down. So I think you're getting one of the more accurate lists. Now, there's across the board, you're going to see KG pretty much the unanimous number one. But then that's where you start to get some parity between Baseball of America, MLB Pipeline, Fangraphs. And I think Just Baseball does an excellent job of figuring that out. And you can go to Just Baseball's website, top 100, right at the top. You can click on it. And they have a nice search bar too. So you can type in Pirates and it shows you all the Buccos that made the list and everybody else in the league. Let's start with some guys that maybe were left off that you think could have made it, or you maybe don't think got a fair shake. And I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head here, but there was one guy who, according to our sources in Juicy J here, who is also at Just Baseball, one guy was left off at 101. Scott.
First man off. It was Mr. Irrelevant. It was the honorable mention, the top of the list. He's fringe top 100. I think everyone probably knows who that is.
Esmeralda Valdez.
Merlin Valdez. Big 25 for him. I mean, this was a guy that who finished 24 in Bradenton and shot his way up through Altoona last year and just was one of the best minor league bats in all of the league last year.
I just don't think anyone saw the rise of Esmeralda Valdez. And then he went to the Arizona Fall League and was Barry Bonds from the right side out there. Where do you see him? I think what probably hurt him on this list was defense, right? Like he mashed all of 2025, but where does he fit in on the field? Is he an outfielder? Can he play some first base? Is he just going to be a DH? That might hinder him a little bit, but I think the raw power, and if he keeps making good swing decisions, it's going to be hard to leave him off next year. I mean, he signed for what, $130K?
Yeah.
Out of the international class in 2020, 2021. Like this is not someone they expect to be the top of the line of that class.
Yeah, good opportunity to plug the international class, man. I mean, they've done a really good job in that market the past few years. Shout out Max Kwan, who we've had on the show. And this is a guy along with Edward Florentino and some other names we might mention throughout this episode who have maybe not been like the biggest signs in their international signing period, but have really transcended through the league and through the different levels of the farm systems here in Pittsburgh. And, Esmeralda is just a testament to guys that you bet on in the international market and really blossom here later on. So I'm excited to see him because I bet you he starts in Indianapolis this year. And I think he picks up right where he left off.
It's projection, right? It's talking about who that person is as a human being. Do they have a good personality? Are they a good individual? And where do you see this guy in 2 to 3 years, right? In maturity and also in the build, right? Does he continue to progress as he continue to get stronger? And I think you've seen all of that from Esmeralda Valdez. Scott, who are some other names that, well, I wouldn't say other names that were left off this year, right? Because I think outside of that, everything else was correct, right? And I'm not even saying that he was wrong on Esmeralda Valdez. I think that's probably right where he should be right now when you're talking about the entirety of minor league baseball. But who's a guy going into 2026 do you think could sneak onto this list?
I mean, I think a guy that's going to jump up a lot of lists is Jhostyn. This is a guy I'm really high on going into 2026. It's a guy who has a high contact rate, who can play multiple positions and bat the ball. I'm a big fan of Jhostyn, and I think we might even maybe see a taste of him in Pittsburgh at some point this year if all, everything works out the way in his favor, shall I say. Jhostyn, watch that name, UCLA guy.
Those college guys, that's why we've been such advocates for them taking college bats early in these drafts, because college players are more advanced than they've been almost ever, right? They're just about major league ready, and they're seeing really good competition in the SEC, ACC baseball. So it takes them a year or two, and then they're ready. Or you've seen some guys just propel through the system. Garcia recorded the 5th best WRC plus among non-debuted Pirate minor leaguers with at least 200 plate appearances. How about that?
It's a guy.
He's a guy, man. And I think you could say a lot for some other names. I was going to wait to bring this up later, but speaking of college guys, I think Murph Gray could also be a candidate there. Not really much that we can go off of here, but you're talking 45 grade hit tool, 50 power, 40 run, 60 arm, 45 field, 45 overall. But the projection, man, like this is a 6'4" monster of a human being. And he's got such raw power, and he can have a really good glove on the corner of the infield. And if he's able to make really good swing decisions and have good at bats, and he could show consistent pop, that's another guy that could be a quick riser in this system.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Murph Gray for sure. But let's back to Deuce real quick. I mean, 10 homers last year, 31 stolen bases, 275 average, 370 OBP, 809 OPS. I mean, the guy killed it. Left-handed bat who can play all over the place. I'm really, really excited for Jhostyn. I think this guy is going to really be a name that people talk about in the prospect circles this year.
Yeah. And as producer Jay just mentioned here to us, Murph was 19 on Fangraph's draft board last year. Talk about the Pirates draft classes in the past couple of years, Scott, because talk all you want. They have been making some really, really good selections since 2021. I mean, you can make the argument with Davis being number 1 overall, but that was strategic. And also, he's a really good catcher at the pro level right now. We can talk about the bat at another time. That's obvious, but he's made himself valuable in one way. And then you got Bubba Chandler in that same class, and you've continued to load the system up with significant arms. And then you talk, hey, we need bats. Well, they hit on Konnor Griffin. They got guys like Esmeralda Valdez in the international free agent class, Jhostyn, Wyatt Sanford. There's a lot to dream on here. And I want to stick on the international class real quick. Here's my pick to make the top 100 next year. Tony Blanco Jr. I think if he goes to Greensboro, he's going to hit 350 home runs.
That bandbox down there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for sure. And I'm sure Greensboro always seems to put together a good team down there. We're definitely going to make an effort to get down to Greensboro this year. But yeah, Tony Blanco down at Greensboro is going to be really fun to watch. It's going to be appointment minor league viewing, if you will.
I think the only reason could be the same with Esmeralda when it comes to holding him off a list like this. He just might be a DH. Like, if he's able to cut down on the swing and miss and hit the ball hard and have consistent power numbers, he's 6'7", Scott, 240. Like, where do you put, like, he came up as an outfielder.
Yeah, I don't think he sees any time in the outfield at the upper levels, but a guy who could play first base and DH. I mean, he's gonna bat the ball and do it at a consistent rate, at a hard rate too. So, I think like you said, he's gonna lead the minors, and he's gonna be in a minor league home run derby next year.
Yeah. Did he win or did Merlin win in the AFL?
I think it's
Blanco
won. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think producer Jay has a pick for us here. Why don't you come on in and tell us who you think could potentially make this list?
I love both of you guys' picks, but I really want to pitch Eddie Reiners. He didn't really get too much of a chance to play last year, but this was a guy that was in the same conversation as Sanford, and a guy that the Pirates reached on a lot and liked a ton. Like, I remember out of the draft, he was, I think, a sub 200 guy on like Pipeline's top 100, or not top 100, but like their top prospects list. And they took him really early, and they saw something there clearly. And I think that he could very easily mold into a similar guy like Sanford, where it's a hit over power guy, but it's somebody that you can dream on in the upper minors for sure.
That left-handed swing with Reinders,
beautiful,
smooth. I can't remember when it was, but somebody put out a video of him hitting in a cage from a side profile, and it was everything you want to see in a swing. It was just like the left side, smooth, effortless swing, just like through the zone, barreling up everything. That's what you have in Eddie Reinders. And if he can get some time in affiliated baseball where, like you said, he's going to be hit over power, but you need guys like that, right? And if he can get on base, that's awesome.
I mean, Jay, we're probably going to see him and Wyatt Sanford covering the left side of the infield in Bradenton to start the year, don't you think?
Yeah, and that's a nasty duo too.
Yeah, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I remember talking to Anthony Murphy about Eddie Reiners too, and he mentioned that he was the one guy besides Griffin that really popped whenever he saw that FCL team play this year. And I mean, if he's mentioned in the same sentence with Griffin, that's a good sign.
Well, let's get into the list. We've gone through just about everybody. The names that we had, I don't know if we mentioned it before. Wyatt Sanford, I think Daryl Morrell could also be a good name that could potentially make this list out of the international free agent class. 6'4", 180, ton of projection there, Scott, as a middle infielder. But let's get it kicked off with number 80 on Just Baseball's top 100 list, and that is the password, Jhostyn Garcia. Came from Boston in the Oviedo trade, and he's 23 years old already, throws right, bats right. 2019 international free agent, 2024 breakout, really just kind of flew through Boston's system. He debuted in 2025. Didn't really show much there, but you're talking about somebody that you could dream on, like we say often in these minor league shows, with just the physicality and the athleticism that he has. Arm compares him to an NFL running back. The way that guy
I was just going to say that. Yeah, he's physical, right? This guy's super athletic and physical. And can use more refinement offensively and defensively, but I think the tools are there, man. There's a lot to dream on here with Jhostyn Garcia.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to see a little bit of power to all parts of the field. He has that little hanging leg kick, and he gets good separation with the hands, but there's going to be a lot of swing and miss. There's a lot of swing and miss. There's a lot of chase in the game, which is something that you're going to have to refine, which is why I think you see him spend some time in Indianapolis this year. But man, when he squares it up, like you could see how strong this guy really is. Like you're going to see oppo power over a tall wall, effortless, right? Like he doesn't need anybody to supply the power for it. He has it all there. He's got a little bit of a wiggle in the stance. But again, at the major league level, he chases up in the zone. He's not as patient as you'd like. So if he's able to play a role in the Pirate system this year as like a bat off the bench type of guy, or if he's able to refine his defense, he could be a fourth outfielder type, and he could join Jake Mangum or just another additional bat. But the reason he's number 80 on the list and not higher is there are questions about the offense production. There is questions about the defensive profile, but overall, you're betting on the athlete here.
I think there's a lot of raw to his game, right? Like you question the routes that he runs in the outfield and his range, and you question his decisions at the plate, his plate discipline. But the power and speed combo is something that you got to dream on, and could if everything works out and comes together, it's like, okay, this guy can be a major league outfielder, not just a fourth outfielder, but a major league outfielder. So I'm pretty excited about Jhostyn Garcia. I think this is one of the top 5 names you got to go into Bradenton spring training game start this Saturday. One of the top 5 names you're probably watching this offseason, right? Or this spring training.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Jay and I were talking about it before you jumped in when we were just chatting it up before the episode. When Jhostyn Garcia first got traded, I was really, really, really high on him. And that might have been because as Pirates fans, we're like, all right, well, this is the move that they made, right? So you automatically default to this is the guy, this is the big name prospect. And then they did a lot of other moves that really strengthened the offensive side of the ball here. But I like the position that they're going to put Nixon in this year because he doesn't have to be a guy coming into a system with a lack of bats now, right? He doesn't have to come in and change the narrative of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He can continue to hone in on those skills and develop. And then eventually they have control over him for a long time. So he could be a long-term option. But right now, I think he's in the perfect position.
Yeah, I do. I agree with that completely because you don't have to put too much pressure on him like being the guy right now. Like if he shows out in spring training, you're like, okay, that's a good thing. But at the same time, he has some time to figure it out, right? He has some time to go to Indy and come in if there's an injury or there's an opening in the roster, if everyone's healthy, to make his debut in Pittsburgh. He didn't do super well in Boston when he made his debut last year, but at the same time, I mean, this is a guy that has all the tools and is exciting. He's someone you can dream on, and I think this is a guy I can't wait to watch in the coming weeks.
JB's higher on him than most other.
Everyone. I don't think he's on any other top 100 right now.
Yeah, Jay, you got anything on Jhostyn Garcia?
My biggest concern with him is really just the chase. That's what it comes down to, because other than that, you guys pretty much nailed it. He's a freak athlete. And we saw the power last year, power speed combos off the charts. It's just really going to come down to whether or not he can hone in the approach and force guys to throw him fastballs.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Why don't we move on and we go through this list? We're going to go to number 49, the first round pick, friend of the show, Seth Hernandez, the 19-year-old out of Corona High School, the 6th overall pick, mid-90s fastball, elite changeup. We talked to Rafael Flores, who's caught Seth over the offseason, and everybody just says this is just a parachute of a pitch, man.
He comped to like some elite prospects like Drew Thorpe, who has a parachute changeup. Elite combo here for Seth. And this is a guy who's been named like one of the better high school righties in the past few years that have come out in the draft. So I think there's going to be a lot of hype around Seth this season. I being older for the draft class as a high school arm, I do think we see him in Bradenton most of the year and in affiliate ball.
And it's funny because the JB write-up says like, hey, elite fastball, elite changeup needs some refinement on the secondaries, but you're already talking about a fastball that touches triple digits here. It's a really sound mechanical development in how he goes about his business. Everything looks solid and methodical, and he's able to pump 100 at the top of the zone and then break you off with a nasty changeup or a curveball. But as he continues to develop, and if he could stay healthy, this could be frontline potential.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a guy that's going to be one of the best pitching prospects in baseball, if not, as soon as he hits a mound in Bradenton. So, man, I mean, the stuff is electric. We talked to Carter Guast, who was this 17th round pick out of high school in Minnesota, and he had to face him down the DR, and he was like, "Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. It's everything that's hyped up to be." So he was arguably the best arm in the draft, and I think the Pirates were hyped when they saw him fall to them because I don't think anybody saw that. There was talks about him potentially going number 1 overall. I mean, like the MLB draft is kind of a crapshoot. It really just depends
on how the dominoes fall, but you're talking about a 55, 65 fastball, 60 out of 70 changeup, 50 out of 55 curveball, got a 50 plus FV. It's like everything is close to being like all the way there for Seth Hernandez. And like you mentioned, he's an older guy. He was what, committed to Wake Forest?
One of the Force or Vandy, I think.
Andy, one of those two. So I think if he could stay healthy, you could see him rise quickly and kind of be one of those arms in the minor leagues that's just so advanced that nobody's going to touch him.
Yeah. That changeup, by the way, got a 70 from Aram, which was huge, and he was a Vandy commit to confirm that. But I mean, it's a guy that I don't think is going to move slowly through the system, being older for his class and being so advanced. I mean, that fastball play is pretty high already. It's pretty advanced already, so I think it's a guy that moves pretty quickly.
Yeah, he stays in the zone a lot,
almost too much.
Yeah. So that might be something that needs to be refined as well. But talk about a system full of arms. Seth automatically goes to the top of the list. Obviously, we're going to talk about another pretty massive arm at the end of this list, but we've had a lot of them on the show, and there's names that you might not even think about that could really make an impact very, very soon. Jay, do you have something on Seth?
Yeah, the thing I wanted to add on Seth real quickly is just that he was the most refined high school pitching prospect we've seen since Jackson Jobe. And just to refresh everybody's minds on how crazy Jobe was in high school, he was spinning like 3,500 RPM sliders when he was 18. Like, that was a kid that was just ridiculously dominant whenever he was a prep pitcher.
Yeah. Heritage Hall, Oklahoma, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's talk the other side of the ball, because this is one that is a pleasant surprise on the list, and just for Pirates fans when you're talking about adding bats to the system. And that's at number 31, Edward Florentino, the outfielder that spent some time in Bradenton. He signed in the international free agent class for $395,000 in 2024. Just Baseball's 31 overall prospect. This is a really good blend of hidden power, man. Advanced approach for a kid who was just 18 years old, 90th percentile in exit velocities. The stance and how he's able to control the barrel is so advanced and so unlike anybody at the lower levels. And you don't expect get a guy like that out of the international free agent class that has such a developed swing and is not really chasing all that much and is able to barrel up and drive the ball in the air. I mean, just sit back and look at the contact here. Two-hand finish, wide stance, not too complicated. This is somebody who could really like rise through the system, kind of like Konnor Griffin did.
I mean, it's the guy we saw down in Bradenton last year when we went down for spring training. We were at Pirate City, and I was like, this Florentino guy stands out. You know, he was bigger in terms of like just in terms of size. He stood out in the field, but also like athleticism, speed, his swing, how he his presence on the field was just like it stood out when you're standing out there on the backfields. But this is a guy who also, like, the biggest poke right now in his game is, can he hit lefties? And I think that's a good problem to have this early on. Like, he's got some time to figure that out. I mean, Ryan O'Hearn just figured it out the past couple of years. This guy who reversed his splits here recently, but you know, where does he land defensively? Probably a corner, but you know, he has the potential to play up the middle, the potential to play some first base. He's got some versatility and a very exciting profile, man. Very exciting. It's almost like, I hate to say it, like Cody Bellinger-esque, like a guy that can play up the middle, can play some first base, speed and power.
A little bit Bellinger.
Yeah, it is. And I would love to see him and Tony Blanco in Greensboro this year. That's going to be very exciting.
Jim thinks he can stay in center field for a bit. You know, I don't disagree with that. I think
you develop him there. You continue developing him up the middle right now.
Yeah, he has a ton of speed and a ton of athleticism. And it's like, compared to, I mean, Connor's a different story, because with Konnor, they wanted to keep him at shortstop. If you're athletic, they're going to usually put their best players in the minor leagues at shortstop. And then these guys branch off to third base, second, you play some outfield. Same thing goes for guys that are going to be true outfielders, but have a lot of speed and a lot of potential. Throw them out there, let them command the center of the field. But real quick on guys like Florentino, 6'2", 175, talk about projection. Okay. Like he's not done growing like as a human being. Like this guy could be 6'2", 200 come, the opening day of this year. We don't know where he's at right now, but a guy like that who's 6'2" from the left side has long levers. It's hard mechanically to get everything in motion in order to have that type of swing. And he's able to do it effortlessly with a violent attack. And he hits the ball hard. 40% of the time, he's hit the ball hard, which is unreal. So, and it's a bit of an uppercut swing too. So if he struggles with contact if he struggles with contact and when he does, he's going to put the ball in the air and he's going to give you some good power numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a guy that you you challenged a little bit this year. 90th percentile exit velocity was 104.1 this year. Unbelievable. I mean, talk about toolsy, but yeah, I would love to see him challenged this year by the Pirates.
Should we move on?
Let's move on, baby. Let's go to number 12. All righty. Right-handed pitcher Bubba Chandler. All right, 2021 third-round pick. He debuted last August. His arsenal includes a fastball, changeup, slider, curveball, elite athlete. His MLB stats last year was a 4.02 ERA, 31 and a thirds innings pitched, 31 Ks, 0.93 WHIP. I mean, drafted as a two-way prospect. Let's start there. All right, he was committed to Clemson to play quarterback. He had Power 5 offers elsewhere to play quarterback. Blossomed quickly when he started focusing on pitching. His athleticism is elite, and I always bet on pitchers that have that dual sport background, right? The athleticism, they're able to make adjustments. You got to come into 2026 thinking, I know a lot of people are talking about Chase Burns and other arms being breakout candidates, rookie of the year candidates. You got to talk about Bubba Chandler in that same conversation. All right. He is in a year where there's not a Skeens, like he's the top dog. And I'm really excited for Bubba. I think him and Skeens are going to make a great 1-2. And we've talked to Bubba on the field. We know the type of guy that he is. He's competitive. He's very, very competitive. And
he's got a good personality, man.
Great personality. He's in the zone a lot. He's worked on his secondaries, refining the command of his secondaries. This is a guy who's going to be one of the better young pitchers in baseball this year.
What really stands out to me is those final 3 starts, Scott, because he struck out 19 and walked nobody, where the control was a question in AAA. And then when he came up, he was good, but there was some shakiness there. And then he just locked in and he showed like, hey, I can challenge you at the top of the zone and I can work my secondaries, but I'm going to be competitive in every single at bat. And I think he was everything and more that he needed to be. And that streak of no walks across 3 starts was the first time he had done that in his pro career.
I mean, he had that stint in AAA where he was walking a little bit more than usual. And that's what delayed his, I guess, coming up to Pittsburgh. So they say. Obviously, he had a little bit of a rough stretch in the middle of the summer there. But, I mean, this is a guy that's going to pound his zone for the most part, and he's going to compete every at-bat. And he likes to attack the top of the zone.
The fastball shape, man. Jay was just talking about the shape of that fastball. And this guy's different. Jay, like, what do you got on Bubba Chandler?
So the one day I had TrackMan access in Altoona was Bubba's AA debut, and that's the day that he became an untouchable for me in the system. Like the fastball shape, like I'm just looking at the stuff I have over here right now. He threw one at 96 at 2,400 RPM, got 20 inches of vert and 13 horizontal on that pitch. And he like routinely sat in that range between like 21, 20 inches of vert. Like it is a unicorn fastball to say the least. If his secondaries come along to match the changeup, like this is your ace caliber guy in the future.
We We thought that when we were in Clearwater last year for the spring breakout game, right, Adam? Like we were standing behind home and we were seeing his fastball and the way he started that game. And I was like, wow, this guy is different. Same feeling we had with Skeens the previous year in the spring breakout game. I was like, wow, this fastball is different. This guy is different. The way he handles himself on the mound and attacks the top of the zone. I mean, the characteristics are there, man. They could potentially have 2 frontline starters at the beginning of the rotation.
Especially if the control starts to climb back in, like Adam was just talking about, last 3 starts, no walks. I mean, if he can live there next year, we're looking at a very, very, very good pitcher.
Yeah. Scott, talking about those breakout games, like not a big stadium. You're kind of watching major league guys at a high school field. You could hear the ball like pop out of his hand. Like it was just bowling ball fastballs. Like it looked unhittable.
I feel like in Bradenton, you're more on top of the plate as a fan. It's an old school stadium. Clearwater, you're more spread out, but it felt the same from the previous year when I was watching Seeds. I was like, this is the best pitcher I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just standing behind a home plate, like seeing him throw and warm ups and stuff like that. I was like, this is unbelievable. And then being in Clearwater, being like up on the concourse and watching him throw, I'm like, holy crap, this guy attacks the top of the zone. The fastball just seems different out of the hands. You just get a different feeling with these types of guys. And the fact that they're going into this season with guys that are 2 potential front line aces, you know, like if Bubba was with any other organization, he'd be the best pitcher in their staff.
Yeah.
It's a pretty special staff that they're putting together here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I mean, talk about run prevention. This is your run prevention. Like this is where it's coming from. We could talk about defense all day and playing guys out of position, which they did, the past couple of years, but now you have the bats to provide at least 3 to 4 runs a game. Hopefully you add some slug. These guys are going to shut people down, like point blank.
Real quick too, I think Arnoa Wright wrote an article the other night or last night about recent circumstances where a team had multiple Rookie of the Year candidates, and this is a very realistic possibility for the Pirates this year. I mean, you got Bubba Chandler, we're going to talk about Konnor Griffin shortly, number 1 prospect in baseball. Like they've got a lot of guys that can compete for that Rookie of the Year candidacy. It's a pretty special young group here in Pittsburgh. You got to be excited as a fan for what's to come in the few years ahead of us.
Do we move on? Jay, you got anything on Bubba outside of that? No? All right. Well, we made it to the finish line, and we're going to spend a lot of time on this one because how can we not? Because the internet is full of KG. It's everything's Konnor Griffin right now. I'm not even going to hype it up. Put it up on the board, Jay. Konnor Griffin is your number 1 prospect for Just Baseball all across the board, really. This is just unanimous. I mean, he solidified himself as the best prospect in baseball with just an absolute ridiculous 2025 campaign. He turned elite tools into production far quicker than we could have ever suspected. 30-30 upside at the plate. The biggest thing, we talked about this last episode, is his ability to make adjustments, because it doesn't happen that easily for a lot of guys. Guys go through slumps, and he's able to just recognize something and then process it and then go out and execute. And it's easier said than done for a guy who is 19 years old, 18. Like there was no downtime. When we talked to him twice, Scott, twice last year, once before, before the season started, and then right when he was in Bradenton. And after the first conversation, you could tell, like, this guy is mature different beyond his years. He's different, and he's going to be a good baseball player. But nobody could have expected this. Like, you saw the swing adjustments. We talked with him about that and how much he was in the lab in the offseason, but he really just went to work, and his OPS climbed. He got better at every single level. Like, he never slowed down. I remember he told us, we were asking him, hey, like, are you going to split time between center field and shortstop? And he said, the Pirates told me if I'm struggling at the plate, like, maybe go spend some time in center field, clear the mind a little bit, just go roam, shag some fly balls, and then we'll work our way back. That just never happened, and he won a Gold Glove. Like, what are we talking about here? This guy is different. And I'll say it again. Scott said when they drafted him, we need him to be Bobby Witt Jr. Like, because at the time, we were like, hey, you need guys here now. You have Paul Skeens. Why are you taking a prep bat? Like, what are you doing? Usually these guys are just going to take forever. And you said, hey, we need this guy to be Bobby Witt Jr. whenever he comes up here. And not only is that a comparison now, a valid one, he's going to be here this year, maybe on opening day, which we'll get into in a second. But Scott, like, talk about seeing the future here.
Talk about the future, man. I mean, yeah, Bobby Witt Jr. is a good comp for him, but I want to come up with a crazier comp like all these other sources are putting out there in their
Kevin
prospect list.
Kramer.
How about the Willie Mays of shortstop, or the Babe Ruth and Barry Bonds combined with the athleticism of, I don't know,
Ozzie Smith,
Ricky Henderson. I don't know. No. But in all seriousness, I mean, this is the best prospect in baseball, and being able to watch what he's done this past year has just been a joy. It's a guy that had question marks about his swing coming out of high school, right? That's why he fell to 9. And we didn't know if it was him or Bryce Rayner was going to go be the top prep bat drafted. Rayner was drafted shortly after him, I believe, right? 10 or 11. But at the same time, I mean, he just made adjustments everywhere. And that's what makes a good athlete. If you're able to make those adjustments, to do that at 18 is incredible. I mean, this guy went from Bradenton to Greensboro to Altoona and got better at each level. And it sounds so simple. We talked about this previously on an episode. He goes to Altoona and he struggled with chasing sliders away for a little bit, and he just stopped swinging at them. Like, that sounds so simple, but like, go stand in that box and try to do that. Try to like just stop swinging at sliders away and chasing. It's way easier said than done. The guy is a professional through and through. And even if he comes up to Pittsburgh on opening day or whenever he starts here in May or wherever, and he struggles a little bit offensively, which you shouldn't be surprised if he does. I'm not saying he's going to, but he's 19 years old. He's got the high floor of giving us elite defense, elite base running. Like, this guy produces in many other aspects than at the plate. And it would be an upgrade on this roster regardless. So it's a joy to watch, man. It's a joy to watch. And I know they're going to challenge him in Bradenton early and often, but it's I mean, this is a guy that's one of the best prospects in baseball, not just this year, but in recent memory.
Yeah, I mean, just going through these comments here, like, I don't think you have to worry about Konnor Griffin ever. Not like he's going to give you hard 90s every single day, right? Like, you're never going to have to worry about him dogging a ground ball. This guy's going to go hard. Like, yeah, Hanley Ramirez, but he cares. Who said that? I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah, I mean, the arm is strong and accurate. Like, and like you mentioned, the defense and the base running, he stole 65 bags.
Yeah, I mean, that's just absurd. He had like a 900 plus OPS, stole 65 bags, 20 homers. I mean, absurd. One of the best prospects I've seen in recent memory, man. Like, in all seriousness, like, go look in the past decade and see who put up those type of numbers in the minor leagues. It's crazy. And to get better at every level as a teenager, like, AA is typically a real test for guys. Like, this is where it starts to get, not that it's not real in high A or low A.
And the secondaries, guys.
I mean, I feel like high A is probably, or AA is the most competitive, right? Because with AAA, you get a lot of guys that are like journeymen and, you know, veterans are trying to make it back in the league. I feel like AA is probably the most competitive. And to do that
video, you can pull up real quick that you
yeah. So it's not going to fit in the screen super well, but these were two of the pitches I noticed and pulled away from Griffin's first couple games down to, like, this adjustment's crazy. This was like a span of 2 games this week. You can see like the swing out in front of the first one. He just doesn't swing it the second time. Like, it feels such a simple adjustment, like you said, but that doesn't happen. Like, you talk about guys getting tested in AA. The secondaries are where they get tested. So to see him just do that And he never struggled with that again. Like, I cannot express that enough. He made that adjustment and never struggled again. Like, I never saw him show a flaw, whether it was on the bases, in the field, any of those things. And even the best prospects that have come through Altoona that I've liked a lot and thought very highly of have always showed like another part of their game that's been like kind of lacking. Like, you can still tell he's not a big leaguer, and Griffin just didn't show that.
Yeah. And over at 95-mile-per-hour fastballs, anything over 95 this year, he had 1,000 OPS. Like, this is, and I want to be, I'm hesitant to keep like blowing this up, right? Because all of spring training is look at what KG's doing. He just hit a car. He just hit the moon. Like, he's doing backflips. Like, everything is focused on him, right? And like, he handles it so well. He's so mature. He's a professional. But I just don't want, like, the pressure is real. Like, there is a lot of pressure on this guy to make the opening day roster and make this team a lot better, because we've said it a ton of times. The best addition that they can make to this team this offseason is Konnor Griffin being the guy. And if he's the guy, this team's already gotten a lot better. This is night and day, man. Like, you're adding someone who is a legit superstar. And I'm saying all this while I just said, like, hey, I don't want to put too much pressure on the guy, but like, it's hard not to.
Not to detract from the prospect talk, but you know, I've seen a lot of tweets today and discussion about whether they're going to add a third baseman or not. I feel like if there's any anticipation of Konnor Griffin not making his roster on opening day, going into opening day with Nicky G and Jared Trillo as your left side of the infield permanently is a little bit scary. I don't want to say like it's the worst thing in the world, but it scares me a little bit. So I'd like to see them, you know, as insurance. It doesn't have to be anyone sexy, like a Ramon Urias or someone to be in on to like shore up that left side of the infield, because Nicky G's is not a permanent left side of the infield type of guy, right? Like, he's more of a second baseman. And I do think Konnor Griffin's here. If I were to guess, he's here by May at the latest, some point in May. But you know, if you're anticipating not bringing him into the opening day roster, and you know, unless he, you know, blows you away, I feel like there has to be another addition there.
Yeah, real quick, I know this is the prospect episode, but I think Nick Gonzalez, while his playing time this year might be limited, I think he's going to benefit from a better lineup, because you're talking about a guy who is extremely aggressive at the plate, and he's going to see more fastballs. Like, if you're playing Nick Gonzalez in the right spot, he's going to be aggressive, and if he sees a fastball, he can hit the ball hard, man. This is a guy who is a bat-first guy coming out of New Mexico State, and I really think he could benefit from it. But the problem is, like, does he see playing time, you know? And I that's up in the air. Maybe at the beginning of the year, but I don't mind him being a bat off the bench.
Circling back to Griffin real quick, the other comment I wanted to make on him too is you mentioned him handling this pressure well. He is a true 80 grade human. Like, that's just another tool you have to add into the fold. You guys have talked to him before, right? Like, for anybody that hasn't met Konnor, I haven't met a teenage prospect, especially with that head on their shoulders, in a very long time. Like, just talking to him, you can tell that it's pressure for sure, but it just doesn't get to him, and he stays the same. Like, he'll go 0 for 4, and after games, he's talking to kids and signing autographs for like an hour after the game. Like, he's just, I couldn't say enough good things about Konnor as a person too.
Extend this kid tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's where I want to end the Konnor Griffin discussion, because I feel like there's a realistic chance of getting him an extension of some sort through his free agent years or the beginning of his free agent years. And this is the type of guy that you should want leading your franchise into the future.
Give him a blank check.
There you go. There you go.
Bring it from the mountaintops. Like, he's your guy. Like, you nailed it. You got the right draft pick. Like,
Yeah.
you did it.
Thank you, Justin Horowitz. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, the front office, they got their guy. Like, I don't know if he was the absolute top guy on their board, but you got basically who would have been the number 1 overall pick in every single year, every year.
Oh, by the way, Aram has been doing these prospect lists for a while. Connor's like one of the only 70 FVs given out ever. Okay. So that's like a big deal. The number 1 prospect for Just Baseball got a 70 future value. one of the only ones that Arm has given out. Food for thought.
Yeah. He said he's, quote, one of the best prospects we have seen in years. He's legit, man. It's an exciting time to be a Pirates fan. It really is. Like, when can you remember the last time that the Pirates had this type of hype going into spring training?
I'm not going to lie. Like, last year, we could say this now. Like, I was like, all right, we're going to spring training. It's a way to get out of Pittsburgh in the winter, and we're going to go watch some baseball. But it's not like we were going to sit there and watch. There wasn't people I was excited to watch for the future of the Pirates. And now I'm like going in and saying, like, okay, Konnor Griffin's going to get meaningful at bats and is going to be battle tested probably early and often. Jhostyn Garcia is someone I'm really excited to watch. Hunter Barco is someone I'm really excited to watch. Like, there's a list of guys that I like am anticipating watching when we get down there on March 1st. And that's just such a good feeling to get down to Bradenton and just like have something to root for and something to be excited about.
Remember when we were watching the Pirates play the Yankees in spring training, our first year of
Michael A. Taylor? We broke it.
And-
Well, we didn't break it, but we talked about the Michael A. Taylor.
And one day they signed Domingo Germán and Michael A. Taylor. And I think slightly before that, we were watching the game and Jack Sawinski hits a double off the wall. And you turn to me and you say, I think I'm about to get Bucko fever.
I was like, oh no.
2024, Scott.
Jack's making this team. God damn it.
Yeah. It's, listen, this is the most excited I've been about Pirates baseball, maybe in my entire life. Like, yeah, there was those years in the past when they were in the playoffs, but like now that we're full grown adults and we're covering this team and you're really breaking down everything from the bottom up, this is the most solid I've seen this organization in a long time. I can finally say this, like, there's not much I disagree with this offseason. I mean, there's guys that I wish they got, of course.
Yeah.
But they made moves to get better, and now it's going to be about execution. And I'm really high on Donnie Kelly. The speech that he gave that was on the Pirates page about being from Pittsburgh and having these coaches give him some words on what Pittsburgh means to them. Like,
I was ready to run through a brick wall,
man. Yeah. Like,
I think Donnie meets the moment. I really do. And I was a very vocal like fan of Derek Shelton as a human being. Like, I thought Derek Shelton was a good guy. And I just think Donnie in comparison just meets the moment for this organization, for a young team. He's been there. He's done that from a coaching and player perspective. Like, he's been on winning teams, and he knows what it takes. And he's from Pittsburgh. Like, he knows the fan base, and I'm really, really excited. And I'm also excited to see like what Matt Haig does in year 2. Okay. Yeah. I'm excited to see Bill Murphy at work. I'm excited to see Christopher Negron at work. We got a whole new staff, man. It's young and exciting, but there's a lot to look forward to in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. Well, great up. Awesome list. If you don't have it, go to justbaseball.com. It's right at the top. You can click on it and go through it and get all of these notes in detail and see the rest of the league as well. But make sure while you're here, you like and subscribe right below. We're going to be in spring training March 1st through 8th. So you can see us down there. Come say hi. Go to buckobanter.com for all the latest episodes as well. And all of our great writers are putting blogs up every single day. So go check those out. If you're listening, give it a like, download the episodes, tell a friend to tell a friend. And until next time, raise it.
Raise it.
Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates, or the steak by the plates and they